Hey, good morning, Cambridge Intermediate School students. Mr. Peterson here, working a little technology, so it's not perfect, but I hope this works. This is could be like my sixth or seventh take on this, but anyways, I'm getting good practice in there. So, and that's what making errors and mistakes is all about. Eventually, hopefully, you get it right. So, anyways, good morning to you guys, and it's a Monday morning. It's December 7th, 2020, and I'm reaching out to you again. I had a video the last couple of weeks, but this one hopefully looks a little different. And then every day this rest of this week, Tuesday through Friday, it'll be a special guest that you'll get to see from Cambridge Intermediate School, and not just Mr. Peterson. So we're going to get started, and we're going to kind of walk through a couple things. And so hopefully the next 5 to 10 minutes, you enjoy yourself and get you up and going. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to say the pledge. So if you could please stand with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so we are going to continue on. So we'll start with the little joke of the day, and I'm going to make it two jokes. So the first one is it's fitting, I think. We just got done with an election the last week or couple weeks ago. Where do polar bears vote? I don't really think they vote, but if a polar bear was going to vote, where do you think they would go? And according to the book I looked at, it said the North Pole. So think about that, right? So a polling booth spelled differently, but a polling booth in the North Pole. So hopefully you thought that was kind of clever. And how about this one? Which is faster, heat or cold? Which one do you think is faster, heat or cold? And the answer they gave was heat is faster, because guess what? And we know it, right? We can catch colds, right? So you can catch a cold, but you can't catch heat, apparently. So again, kind of silly little answers or little jokes there, but that's what jokes are all about, just kind of being silly. But so a more serious note for sure. Again, I said today was December 7th, and back in 1941, which for, again, 8, 9, 10, 11-year-olds seems like a long, long time ago. But I'm thinking a lot of you have already heard about this, but we had an attack on a place called Pearl Harbor, which is located in Hawaii. It's a naval base there. And if you've heard of World War II, this was kind of the beginning of us, United States, entering that war. And it occurred when the Emperor of Japan decided to make that attack. And as we move fast forward to today, we are good friends with Japan, and they are one of our allies. So strange things can happen in history. So even though Japan was the country that attacked Pearl Harbor, again, we are pretty good friends and allies with the country of Japan currently. There's also a memorial there. It's USS Arizona, which was sunk right where it was docked. And so people go there to pay their respect on what happened. The whole attack, as terrible as it was, only lasted a little over an hour. And I wrote down some other notes on my paper that over 2,400 service members were killed in that attack. Nearly 1,200 others were wounded. Almost 170 ships and planes were also destroyed. United States ships and planes were destroyed. So in that time, nearly 3,600 lives were impacted in just a little over an hour. So a lot of pain and suffering occurred in that very short period of time. So this is a date in our history that is pretty impactful. A lot like more recently the attack on Twin Towers, 9/11. So yes, as you check your history books and such, this is one that does stand out as being a very horrible day. And through that, though, we did come together as a country, and the sacrifices that those people, sailors and all servicemen and women paid, and then even our citizens in the United States during the war too, everybody rallied together and came together as true Americans. So as terrible as it was, it did bring us together in some respects. So we are going to do one last little thing here that Mr. Peterson used to do as a teacher. As we're waiting to get into specials or go to lunch or whatever, we would do a mental math minute. Might take more than a minute, but we do mental math. And so we would be out in the hallway. So we don't have any paper, because you never have any, generally don't have paper when you're out in the hallway. We're going to do 3 problems. We'll do a practice one and then 3 problems. I'll kind of walk you through it with my practice one, but we're going to start with a number. I'm going to ask you to do 3 things to that number. It could be multiplying, could be adding something, subtracting, whatever. And then you're going to I'll ask for your answer, and then hopefully it gets our minds going. So that we're going to do like a really fairly simple one, I think. So we'll start with the number 2. So think of 2 in your head. We're going to double 2. So we're walking through this one. So if you double 2, you get 4, correct? And then we're going to add 2. So you get 6. And then if I said minus 5, this is where I would say, okay, what's your number? 1, 2, 3, give me your number. And then you would say 1 if you did the proper procedure. So again, hopefully a little bit of an easier one that we started with. And you won't say your number out loud until you get to the end. So here we go. We're going to start with the number 7. So in your head, you're thinking 7. And now you have to get your multiplication. And I know our 3rd graders are just starting to get ramped up on that. And hopefully 4th and 5th, you're pretty good at this. And if not, this is something to work on. But 7 times 6, think of that number in your head. Take those 2 factors and what product do you get? 7 times 6, think of it in your head. Then you're going to minus 4 from that number. So now you have a new number. And then you're going to think of a ruler or a foot. Like how many inches are in a foot? And then you're going to add that to your new number and you're going to get a final number. So again, we started with 7. We multiplied times 6. We minused 4. And then we added the number of inches that are in a foot or a ruler. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Did you say 50? Because I had 50. So hopefully mine's right. Mr. Peterson's not perfect, so certainly could make a mistake. But I think 50 is the correct answer. So here we go, a new one. So kind of erase your mental slates. Start with the value of a quarter. So how many cents or pennies are in a quarter? Think of that number. Then you're going to triple it. So now you have a new number in your head. Then you're going to minus 10. And then you're going to minus 6. So started with the value of a quarter. We tripled it. We minus 10. And we minused 6. On the count of 3, what is your new number? 1, 2, 3. Did you say 59? I had 59. And the big thing there is you had to know the number of pennies or cents in a quarter. I think most of us know it's 25, right? So start with 25. All right, my last one. So this one you have to know how many years are in a decade. How many years are in a decade? I'm going to give that one to you because I don't know if everybody knows that one yet, but a decade is 10. So number of years in a decade. So you're going to start with 10 and you're going to multiply 10. So 10 times 10 in your head, you're thinking of your new number. Add 7. And then triple that number. So we started with the number of years in a decade, which we said was 10. We multiplied times 10. We added 7. And then we tripled that number. And how I tripled that number, well, let's get to the answer first, I guess. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Did you have 321? Because that's what I had. I got to 107. And then when I tripled 107, which is kind of hard, I think I tripled 100, which got me to 300. And then I tripled 7, or 3 times 7, and got to 21. I added it that way. So 321 was that one. So kind of a fun little thing maybe you could do in the car or something. You don't have to have anything, but you can kind of just bounce around some numbers and get those brains going. So anyways, I hope you had a little fun with that. I want to just conclude again, wishing you a great day. I look forward to the day that we can actually see each other and we get some students in our building. And then I hope you look forward to meeting the rest of some of the other staff members at 8 o'clock starting tomorrow. So hope you have a great Monday and a great school week.